Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Age of Empires 3 Thursday. I am Mr. V, and it is number 12 in our series. Again, I know I kind of say this every time, but I am impressed that this series has gone on this long, not because I'm some genius level caster. We all know that that's absolutely not true at all. But because you guys continue to watch these, thank you once again for your support. And now, with your complimentary thank you out of the way, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the match. Let's start with the players, and then we'll talk about the map, because this map, it makes me feel things. All sorts of things. But in the Northwest, not to get too personal, in the Northwest, playing in the color blue as the Swedes, we have none other than S4 GOP4, or as I'm going to refer to him, GOP. Now, he did go with the double torp start, which is very common. I think in the meta kind of Swedish builds, the double torp has become the standard. Now, you will see people start torp market. You will see people start a torp trading post, but most high-level games I am seeing nowadays, it is almost always the double torp for that early economic boost, and also picking up the 30 food, killing the wolf. Sorry to all wolf lovers out there. And in the southeast of the map, in the color red, playing as the Lakota, is one of my favorite people in all of the AOE3 community. It's MFD, ladies and gentlemen, a caster who is always so entertaining and a lovely person too. I've gotten the privilege to cast with him a couple of times, and it's always a joy. So happy to see him in the player's seat today. Both of these guys are around 1600 ELO, and we can see that MFD, Lakota, is one of his mains, and GOP is also playing one of his mains, Sweden. Now, MFD did send the 3 villager card. However, GOP has already sent his, and it has already arrived. So, in terms of kind of the XP race, Sweden is definitely in the lead. But now let's talk about the map, because this map, holy buckets. I have seen so many people rage about the map Bohemia, which is the map we're on. Now, it is an interesting layout. It has 4 separated quadrants, all separated by water crossings, which cannot be built on, but they can be walled. So you could wall the entrance to this crossing and make it impassable, as long as you wall both of these entrances here and here. And then you have an individual trading post on every kind of corner of this. Well, I guess not a corner because it's round. Oh, nice job there, Mr. V. But all of these can be claimed, and then each one holds oodles of resources, at least 3 hunts apiece, and 2 to 4 coin mines apiece. So claiming these quadrants is vital, especially if you're Sweden, because you have an abundance of gold mines, and claiming at least one of these to get access to those 4 mines is going to be crucial. And we can see Sweden already aging up, already starting to gather a lot of wood, and already starting to build up torps and a wall section here. GOP, I think GOP's shaking in his boots. I think he's going to expect some Lakota aggression, which that's another interesting thing. I don't know if MFD usually plays aggressive, but both of these civs are capable of it. Sweden can put forward a pretty devastating infantry rush. And Lakota can do a pretty decent infantry rush, but they're all more known for their cavalry, right? Their bow horsemen and their axe riders. We'll see what MFD goes for. I doubt he's going to go with cavalry against Swedes, just because Karelians are so effective from range. But it does look like GOP went with the outpost wagon, and look at this. A very defensive outpost placement here right next to its town center. So GOP playing very, very defensively, also sending dominions. So we could be looking to see some sort of turtley torp boom out of our friend GOP, who actually, I believe, does have the higher ELO. I think he's in the 1670s, while MFD is right at 1600. But look at this. The 2 War Hut Travois have come out. They're making their way across the map. And I think, oh, looky here. No, I don't want to. I don't want a War Hut. He's going to place them right on the corner. I love this placement because look at that. He's blocking off this coin mine and this hunt, sure. but he's also giving himself excellent vision of this forward crossing and this forward crossing, and he's almost kind of blocking off this crossing from an army getting around and into his base, so they'll either have to go the other way around, or they'll have to walk across these war huts, which could be very dangerous if units ever pop out of it. But the Swedish explorer, Louis Polander, that's not a very Swedish name, but either way, he does go down to the gunman, and the MFD, you're gonna make me curse in a video. I won't allow it. I won't allow it, MFD. I know you've been meaning to sabotage me for years now, but I won't let you get the best of me. 5 Caroleans coming out for GOP, and looks like 10 Citan Bowmen coming out for MFD, and the GOP and the MFD gonna race for the victory. So let's see. Can't be a Mr. V video without some bad rhyming, right? And the gunman goes down. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. He bravely faced 5 armed men with muskets, but the Citan Bow now know about the Carolean positioning. Gonna get some free shots here, and Citan Bow are not the most effective ranged unit, but against Caroleans, they're gonna do well, especially Age 2 Caroleans that are unupgraded. The War Chief is gonna go down, so actually, oh my God, I squeaked. What am I, an 8th grader? That was actually not a bad trade for GOP, seeing as he did get the War Chief. So these units are not going to be buffed, and he gets a delicious 100 XP. But let's take a look at the economies here. So we do see that GOP has fully torped both of his gold mines, which I've actually heard is not advised. I've just heard people like Shake, who plays a lot of Sweden, he says, don't torp either your first or your second mine, because it just causes a lot of problems in the late game. But, oh, look at this. Hold the phone. We have Club Warriors, ladies and gentlemen, which is going to be perfect because 3 Hussar have just arrived from the home city. And it looks like these armies are about even now. You have to remember Lakota units are fairly weak in Age 2, at least their infantry is. And the club's going to get a free shot in, but are going to be driven off by the Caroleans. We have to remember that MFD has this very nice forward position, but GOP, he is not worried. He's saying, whatever, man. I don't care that you got war huts here. I'm going to torp. Okay, the torper's going to torp. You can't stop him. And he is up to 150 torp population by the 8-minute mark. That's very good. Meanwhile, MFD at a respectable 24 vils. And it looks like GOP is only at 23 vils. So a 1 vil lead, but out come the 2 leather cannons. And we're going to see this infantry ball probably be driven off by just those couple of artillery. Minutemen coming out along with a Hussar pop. We might get an excellent pop here, and the Minutemen coming out on the wrong side. They were not able to snare those infantry because they came out on the back side of the town center. Perhaps if they were on the front, he could have held them there longer, got some more lasting damage. But as it stands now, that was actually a good play by MFD. He's able to get that 300 resources worth of pop without taking any damage. But the leather cannons are out. The Hussar are going to raid. No, they're just keeping an eye on this very profanely named war chief. But the Torps are getting sieged. The Torp village are going down. And MFD is saying, look, man, if you're going to Torp, you go ahead and keep it on your side. But on this side of Bohemia, we don't allow that, which, you know, you got to admit, what a lovely historical game we have here. Because, you know, you guys know in your history books, you guys remember learning about the great Lakota-Swedish War that took place in Central Europe. And oh my God, those leather cannons. Oh, those clubs. Die for the cause, boys. They are going to take out most of the cavalry, which is going to be good for protecting these Citan bows. Hopefully, Swede doesn't have any more cavalry on the way, more Caroleans, more clubs coming out for the Lakota player, MFD, you cheeky devil, along with 4 axe riders. Hopefully, they're going to be able to get in and do some damage against those leather cannons, or at the very least, protect against the 3 additional Hussar that are moving in on the Citan bows. But the clubs, MVP clubs, coming out right at the correct time. Stop, hammer time, or should I say club time, even getting in on the Caroleans. And MFD Oh, and there come the Axe Riders on top of the leather cannon. Sit down, boy. The Minutemen going down, the Caroleans going down, and you may have sensed my moment of hesitation there. And how dare I doubt the great MFD? But he's going to clean this up. Now, I don't think Sweden's out of it by any means. I mean, they're still sitting at 26 villagers and 130 torp pops, so they definitely have some fight left in them. But he's going to have to spread out to these further quadrants. I'm amazed that he has not come south yet. Maybe he's worried about potential raids. And speaking of raids, in come the Axe Riders. But very nice job by GOP to get those vills away. Unfortunately, not as lucky with those two. Rachel and Rachel gonna go down and fade away into oblivion. It's kind of interesting. The humans fade away, but the antelope and the animals stay. I never really noticed that mechanic. Interesting. I guess that's just how decomposition works in Bohemia. But, oh my god, I'm ridiculous. But the Citan bow number is beginning to grow. 17 Citan bows, 13 club warriors, and even some Tokala soldiers. So this Lakota army, even though it's an Age 2, and Lakota are not always known for their very strong Age 2 play, looking pretty good for MFD. Although, GOP might be able to hold this. He's got the outpost, he's got the TC fire, he's got some Caroleans, and four more Hussar. But look at these clubs. Oh, NP. Stay calm, just make clubs. And they're going to get in there and do some damage to the Hussar, although there are still a few Hussar remaining. The Citan bow's not in a great spot. They are in range of the Caroleans, and the Caroleans doing a lot of great damage, not going into melee yet, perhaps saving that for a later date. And the last Hussars are going down, and one Tokala soldier is up, along with the profanely named Explorer. And look, more clubs! Are these guys, are they survivors? Did they survive the first fight, or were they trained? Okay. I think they were part of the first fight, but despite all of that action, I think GLP's gonna hold this. Now he's still at 130 torp pops, so I am a little bit concerned that he has not been able to strengthen his boom at all. And look at how many vills he's got stacked up in the back of his base here, just kind of corralled in. He's got 16 vills back here, and he's very low on food. He's got these couple of deer out here that are rotting, and he's got this one live deer left. But if he wants to maintain these kind of food-heavy units, the Caroleans and the Huss, he's going to have to branch out. And again, like I said earlier, he's going to have to get on this quadrant, possibly start building some torps, and maybe even getting some vills on the hunts there. Meanwhile, the torps he has on this quadrant are going to go down. The cheeky MFD going to siege them, and in come the MVPs of the game. It's the clubs. Oh, man. I love this unit. They remind me of Chimu runners, but they're actually balanced. By the way, in case you didn't know, I don't like Chimu runners. But look at this raid here. GOP saying, look, man, I know that you can raid, but I got Cav too. He's going to take out at least one Lakotaville here. At least two, possibly three, maybe even four. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in come the clubs. The MVP clubs. They didn't arrive in time to save those 4 vills, but they are going to... Is he going to try to... Oh, look at the squeeze! He's about to make a Hussar sandwich with whole wheat clubs as the bread. Nope, not going to happen. No, GOP's going to get out of the kitchen, folks. He does not want to deal with it, but he's up to 160 torp pop. So he has continued the boom, and he has gotten out on the hunts. Meanwhile, what am I doing? Mr. V, get your head in the game. The fight has begun, and the clubs have engaged. Keep calm. Send more clubs. Clubs versus Caroleans? Absolutely. Clubs versus Hussar? No problem. Meanwhile, the Citan Bow are getting a lot of great damage in from the back. And does GOP have an arsenal? No arsenal yet, so no H2 upgrades for the Caroleans. No speed upgrade, no attack upgrade, which leaves them fairly weak compared to these light infantry. And the Cav, he's made a lot of Hussar, and he's lost a lot of Hussar too. I don't know who's ahead here. I mean, GOP is still managing to get enough torps out, but he is behind 3 vills, and MFD just sent the Buffalo card. The bison have arrived. Which actually, I just realized, I just found out that American buffalo should not be called buffalo. They're actually called bison, which you think I live in the Great Plains. So you think I would know that because I've seen buffalo in real life, but must have slipped my mind. Meanwhile, the villager's going to try to ward off the clubs, but what hope do they stand against the best unit in the game? I mean, let's be real. I think the Caroleans are finally going to drive him off, and down goes the Lakota Explorer. I feel like he's died like 8 separate times. Is it just me? Meanwhile, what has MFD sent? He sent 3 Vills, he sent the Takala, he sent Camp Movements, he sent 13 Bison, he sent Great Hunter, and he sent all of his C10 Bow and Cavalry cards. And I think GOP may finally be getting an advantage here. Maybe not. Every time I think those Hussar are going to clean up, the clubs just come in and wreck their day. And MFD always manages to keep just enough C10 Bow to clean up the Swedish Caroleans. And so I feel like there needs to be some sort of tech switch here from GOP. There needs to be some sort of unit added to the composition. Oh man, he doesn't have the artillery foundry. I was just going to say, I would love to see him send the artillery foundry and the 1 leather cannon and start producing leather cannons, because that would deal with this Lakota infantry ball no problem. However, I think he's going to continue investing in Huss and Caroleans, sending 8 pike. Now that is a shipment I do not see Swede players send a lot. But 8 pike going to definitely bolster his army. I don't know how well they're going to do against clubs or C10 bows. They might prove useful if MFD looks to make cavalry, but I don't think he has any plans in investing in cavalry. I think he's just going to continue making Age 2 infantry and continue pressuring Sweden, and out come the clubs. GOP, get on these guys. You're going to lose your Huss. The cav are going to go down as my camera decides to freak out. And going to take out those clubs. More Huss, more Caroleans. And you can see why Bohemia is such an action-packed map, right? Because the fighting over these 2 quadrants that the players don't start on is constant, right? Both players need these hunts. And there's 10 Vills. There's 10 Vills in this war hut. Wait, is GOP resigning? No way. No way. No way he's resigning. He's faking me out. Unless he thinks that MFD should resign. MFD gonna get the Vills away. He's gonna flee. But he needs his army. Where are the clubs? There come the clubs. The MVPs, but oh my gosh, he's gonna lose a lot of Vills here. At least 2 or 3. He is up 10 Vills. Holy crap. I had no idea that MFD had built up such a villager lead. I mean, he did kill quite a few Swedish Vills, and in come the clubs. Once again. I wish I could play the Avengers music, because that would be the perfect theme for these guys' arrival. Just what a bunch of chads. Don't even have to wear shirts. Meanwhile, the C10 bows holding off the infantry, which this is honestly a really great trade for MFD. I mean, he killed 5 or 6 Hussar and he lost, I don't know, 5 C10 bows. I'd take that trade. But he is not out of the woods yet, because the Swedish infantry ball is starting to get rolling. Wow, okay. GOP sitting on 1,400 food. Possibly consider selling some of that and get an age up queued? Because if he starts getting out like Hackapelts and veteran, yeah, if he gets out veteran Caroleans and Hackapelts, I mean, MFD's done. I mean, clubs are the best unit in the game, but they're not that good. Perhaps MFD is thinking going Age 3? No, sending friendly territory. So maybe he's going to try to strategically plan the next fight around some of these teepees here. I think that's one of the hardest things when I have played Lakota, which has been like once. Using those teepees effectively has always been tough. But in comes the Swedish army. I don't know if this army's good enough to push. It's all Caroleans and pikemen, which if MFD gets out a few more C10 bows, he's going to be able to deal with that relatively quickly. And the clubs are going to take care of any pikes, even using, yep, there we go. We see the TPs. He's trying to draw GOP in. He wants to take this fight by the TPs, but GOP smartly not taking that engagement, gonna pull back. And I think he's content just keeping MFD off of these two quadrants. He's been able to fully torp. He's up to 200 population. Yeah, things are looking okay for Sweden right now, but he needs to get an age up in. And in comes the 700 coin, and I think we're going to see an age up here. Hopefully it comes in time, and in come the clubs, the Hussar. 5 Hussar, going to try to get on top of those C-10 bows. The pike are almost all dead. And again, I don't know how great that shipment was. It did pad out his army, but those 8 pike were not able to accomplish much. And the Hussar going down, and this is a great fight for MFD, taking it right by the TP, getting the added bonuses to his infantry, and the Caroleans going down even quicker to these C-10 bows. And even one club left alive. Down he goes, but he dies bravely. What an absolute unit. And the Swedish army is cleared up, but more Hussar coming in. Not going to take that engagement, even though it's pure C-10 bow against pure Huss. Maybe he just thought with the TC and the TP he couldn't take it. A little TC-TP combo. And making more Huss along with aging. So here comes the age up. I think this is where we see GOP take a substantial leap if he varies up his composition. So I would love to see him get veteran Caroleans. I would love to see the 2 Falk shipment come in, and maybe even some Hackapelts. That's probably a lot to ask, but I think GOP can pull it off. But meanwhile, the Lakota army is not staying idle, possibly going to challenge this quadrant yet again. And there's not a lot of clubs here, so he's got to be careful with those C-10 bows. But there are a lot of Swedish vills out here putting up 2 outposts to try to defend this hunt. And we are coming down to the kind of the last few hunts on the map. We got this big group here and this big group here. But in comes the fight. And the C-10 bows are going to try to take out this outpost. There are 6 vills in there, 3 vills in the other one. And only 32 vills for Sweden. Meanwhile, 44 vills for Lakota. So we're going to see what wins between the tech upgrade of the 3rd age or the superior economy of the Lakota player, and just more age 2 units. And I thought for a minute that MFD might try to follow up with an age up of his own, and I don't think it's going to look like that at all. I think he is going to continue to pump out H2 units, more clubs, and even the veteran Hussar are not able to stand up against the clubs, and the C-10 bows continuing to attack the Caroleans. The Caroleans are not veteran yet, going to make them much weaker against these C-10 bows, and even the club warriors. The club warriors getting a good surround, the C-10 bows taking out the last of the Hussar. The Hussar are all down, 10 veteran Hussar now dead, and it's just Caroleans. The villagers coming out to fight from the outpost. And I think MFD might be held back here. Yeah, the C-10 bow's running away, but oh man, that was a close fight. And oh my God, the Tokala soldiers, 7 Tokala soldiers coming out for MFD. Absolute insanity. Okay, this might be a game changer. If GOP is not able to get out a very substantial H3 composition, these 7 Tokala soldiers might make or break the game here. Gonna get a great Vill raid. Oh, those Vills go down so quickly. Oh man, I need some water. This has been an absolutely insane game, back and forth. GOP and MFD have both been playing amazingly. All right, I am hydrated. And the 7 Tokala soldiers hydrating themselves on the blood of the Swedish villagers. Look at this villager. Hey, guys. Guys, there's one more. There's one more. She's at 9 HP. She's walking away. Guys? Nope. Okay, they don't care. Well, that Swedish lady gets away scot-free. Meanwhile, what is GOP doing? He is sending the Hackapelts. Going to be the perfect response to these Tokala soldiers and more Caroleans. But meanwhile, the economies are starting to get very lopsided. 46 vills for Lakota and only 28 vills for GOP. Yes, he still has a lot of torps, but I don't know. This is so close. I mean, One of the guys is in 3rd age. He's got veteran upgrades. And the other guy is just continuing to spam age 2 units. And it's working. I mean, it also helps that he's got like an 18 villager lead. But even then, out come the Hackapelts. And are we going to see a counter raid here? Hackapelt's not the best raiding units, but these Hussar are going to do work. And at least 3 Vills going down. Maybe 4? Yeah, 4 Vills going down for Lakota. So very nice pickup for the Swedes. But oh no, another Swedish raid. In come the clubs. With their, I'm going to say buffalo skin capes. Holy crap, they even have capes? See, I mean, why do you need gunpowder, right? Why do you need gunpowder? Why do you need steel when you have buffalo capes and a big old stick? And oh my God, look at this slaughter. Yeah, oh my God, even if GOP clears this up, that was a horrible, horrible raid. He's down to 14 villagers. Compared to MFD's 45. And these Tokala soldiers are just dumping on these Karelians. We have to remember that Karelians do not get their bonus against Cav in melee. They only get it in ranged. And the Tokala soldier's going down, but yeah, there's no way GOP wins this. I mean, he's down. Yeah, MFD's got 4 times as many vills. So are we just about to see cleanup? Is this going to be cleanup time now? I think so. Wow. What a catch. What a catch. And, oh man, that's so unfortunate because GOP, I felt like he was finally starting to kind of get back into the game. He got that counter raid. He was getting his veteran units. You know, he was getting a good composition of Hackapelts and Hussar and Karelians, but, oh, that raid just destroyed him. And look, another Swedish Vill gets away. What is it with MFD and leaving 1 Vill alive? Maybe he wants them to go home and tell the story of the horrors of the men with the big sticks. Oh my God, we even have a mill. Yeah. The universal white flag is being raised in the Swedish base. The mill. That is not good. We are at the 27-minute mark for those of you that are curious. And we do have another raid by the Hackapelts, but even if we were to kill all of the villagers in this war hut, he still would not be even with MFD. And there are 20 vills in here. It has been a bad day to be a villager on either side. You've just been getting raided by guys on horses, guys with muskets, guys with clubs, guys with bows. And more torps going down. And the 2 Falcons coming out, but I don't know. I think it's too late. I honestly think it's too late. I don't know. Unless MFD just deletes his base on accident, I don't know how GOP wins this game. I'm very impressed that he's still fighting it. Like, I would have resigned 2 minutes ago when I lost those vills. But GOP, he's sticking it out. And I respect that. He's got some Hackapelts doing some raiding around the map. But he is going to lose this entire side of the map. And now at this point, where does he find food? Right? He's got 16 vills, 7 on food, 7 on wood, 1 on coin. Meanwhile, MFD has 50 vills. And he's got full map control. And he's not even in age 3. Like, MFD hasn't even considered aging this entire time. He's also got 2 shipments, which he can't really do anything with because he's out. And at this point, why even age, right? Why allow your opponent to come back? Just continue to put on the pressure. You know you're winning economically. But you know what's amazing is even with all of that, GOP is still ahead in score. He's ahead by 500 points. How does that happen? How is it 14? How is it 16 vills to 52 and Sweden is ahead? Maybe because of all the torps, but I mean, he's only at 170 torp pop now. He's got what looks to be, he's got about 20 military units against MFD's 50? And even getting out some bow riders here, which are going to be very effective at soaking up damage and taking out any of those Hussar. Even going to be good at kind of sniping these Falconets if he gets them in a good position. But these Citan bows and these clubs have proven to be a very nice composition for MFD. And let's see, this might be the final engagement here. The Citan bows, not in a good spot, gonna take a lot of damage, but in come the bow riders, and are just gonna go right for that Falconet, draw and release, and even with all of these Caroleans, they're not gonna be able to save it. One Falconet goes down, in come the clubs, the big sticks have arrived. As we say, keep calm and make clubs. The second Falconet goes down, the Caroleans go down, and that is game, right? That's game. GOP? Game? GG's? No? Okay, mad respect, man. Like, I honestly, I really do admire the fact that he's refusing to give up. And he's not doing it in a way of like, he's hiding 3 vills in the corner and building forts, right? He's actually trying to come back. And I really do, I really think that is a quality to be respected. So GOP, well done to you. MFD, thank you for showing me the secret of the Club Warrior. I had no idea. But he's even putting down a trading post. What is he looking to get out of this trading post? Is this the Habsburg? Or sorry, the Habsburg? I think it is. We'll have to see. But not much else going around going on around the map. I mean, some Caroleans are sieging this corral. What else? We've got some Swedish villagers trying to find gold. The Caroleans are continuing to siege the corral. The Lakota are building a trading post. MFD is at 57 vills. And GOP is at a whopping 18. And I think we're just kind of waiting for the final push. I don't know if MFD's just playing with his food or what, but in comes the final push. The mill has been evacuated. And I don't know if he's going to go straight for, I don't know, maybe even go straight for the TC here? No, he doesn't have enough siege for the TC. And he's still not going age 3. Can you believe it? He's got what looks, yep, he's got the Habsburgs. He's making, oh, he's getting the Radetzky March. He's spawning Magyar Hussars. Oh my sweet lord. Oh man. When I queued up for a Sweden versus Lakota, this is not what I expected. This is not at all what I expected. I honestly thought that both would just play in H3 and Lakota would go, you know, heavy on the riflemen and the what are they called? The rifle riders. But I've been played a fool here in this game. And that's the game. That's the GG. It was kind of a bit of a sputter at the end, but the game is over, ladies and gentlemen. MFD takes the victory against the GOP, and I am very happy. But guys, I hope you enjoyed AOE3 Thursday. Now, before I do my regular sign out, there's just a couple of things I want to make note of. And mainly 3 things. So if you guys were just looking for the game, go ahead, bow out. I love you all. However, a couple of announcements. Number 1, I do have some people asking for team games, and I did find a 2v2 that I will be casting next week. Number 2, I am starting to consider some alternative things to upload rather than just the 1 video a week, possibly starting a new series. So would love some recommendations on what I should do in the comments below. And then 3rd, I did play the first round of the Cavern Combat Tournament against Evolution. And I did say that those games were going to be coming out last Friday. However, due to the tournament admins wanting to get them casted first, I had to hold off on casting them. And I'm also trying to get Evolution, my opponent, to cast them with me because I think that would be super, super fun for us to both cast the game together. So just trying to get a lot of ducks in order here, but thank you guys for your patience. Thank you again for sticking with me. And always remember, keep calm and make more clubs.